you know, transmitted things. She leaned over the counter and lowered her voice to a whisper. It's not cancer, is it? Cancer? Jodi peered over the pharmacist's shoulder, scrutinizing herself in the security mirror. Behind her, 6 or 8 customers peered over the shelves to watch the show, like prairie dogs poking up from their holes to scan the plains for ferrets. Their expressions ranged from shock to dismay to pity. Dang, she didn't look that bad. In normal surroundings, she passed easily for pretty, but in her hometown, expectations ran high. So pale, Darla said. And your hair, honey, you look just wrung out and hung to dry. What happened? Nothing. Jodi straightened her shoulders. I'm just not a rodeo queen anymore. I'm a certified equestrian therapist with a degree in special education. Well, it looks like all that hard work and studying has just worn you right out. I'm not worn out. Jodi swallowed her aggravation. Coming home was even harder than she'd expected. I'm just not wearing makeup. I used to have to pretty up all the time. Eyeshadow, blush, sparkle powder. Tossing her head, she felt her hair flare out and fall neatly back into place. God bless Aquanet. Now, I've got more important things to do, she said. I'm back to help my mom with the boutique, and I'm starting a therapy riding clinic. Darla shook her head in wonder. I never thought you'd come back. We figured once you'd seen the world, you'd be gone for good. But I promised. You remember my speech. Who could forget? Said someone in a deep voice behind her. Jodi knew that voice and stood motionless, enjoying the moment. The delicious anticipation of finally seeing Teague Treadwell again. She pictured the hard jaw softened by a 5 o'clock shadow, the dark eyes glinting under a battered Stetson, the long, lanky line of him leaning casually against the counter like a dark, dangerous version of James Dean in a cowboy hat. Cool and tough and drop-dead sexy. God, she missed cowboys. Real cowboys. And Teague Treadwell was as real as they came. She turned with a bright smile, then took a quick step back. The man behind her was Teague Treadwell, but he looked about as real as a New York model in a Boot Barn catalog. He stood like a cowboy, relaxed and lounging, resting one elbow on the high counter as if it were the worn leather saddle of his trusty quarter horse. But his clothes were straight out of Lou Taubert's dress-up section. Clean, creased Wranglers broke tidily over what appeared to be Tony Llama boots, and his white shirt was pinned at the collar with a string tie that sported an expensive chunk of polished turquoise mounted in silver. He held his hat in his hand, a gray felt Stetson with a brand-new sheen unmarred by sun or rain, and his clean-shaven jaw was more GQ than Western horseman. And then there was the jacket. On any other man, she'd have appreciated the way it classed up the outfit and spanned his broad shoulders, but the cut of it hid at least half of a butt she'd been looking forward to seeing in full. You took that scholarship and that modeling contract and hightailed it for the city so fast it made our heads spin, he said. I can't believe you came back. I promised. Jodi set her jaw. I know. He stepped closer, a little too close. But you don't always keep your promises. She lifted her chin. In her outgoing rodeo queen speech, she'd sworn to use her scholarship to get herself an education and come back to Purvis in all her big-haired, blue-eyed glory to make the town a better place. And she'd kept that promise. Well, except for the big hair and the glory. A few modeling sessions had exhausted her desire for glamour, and college had been a revelation as she shed her queen trappings and luxuriated in the freedom of comfort-cut jeans and baggy t-shirts. At school, it was her brains that mattered, not her beauty, and nobody expected her to be a role model. What a relief that was. Being a role model meant swallowing